in ideology. The private, well, we don't support anything of a Minister of Electricity. He never said anything that we said here. He will never come close to thinking like this. Sputler is corrupt. He collapsed that ANC leadership in Tshwane. It's him. Tshwane, to be where it is today, is Sputler. South Africans, you are so gullible. So gullible that a person collapses a municipality. A municipality. You say he can restore such a complex matter as electricity. He himself said he doesn't know anything. He's relying on those people who have been there failing us. He made a confession. So why must I even ask for more power for him? For what? These solutions we are talking about require no new ministry. Firstly, we don't want a minister of electricity. We're fine. Take the electricity from public enterprise, put it in energy. That's where it's supposed to be. Its policy direction and its businesses be run by one department and one minister. An energy department is not montage. That's the problem. That when you are talking about principle, you guys bring names. It's not montage. So take it from where it is, put it there, and then implement these solutions. So it's a coordination, especially Eskom implementation, should not be far from policy. They should be together. And we have effective ministry that is overseeing Eskom. Eskom doesn't decide which minister we're listening to today, depending on personal relationships between whoever is running Eskom and that minister. Let Eskom be under one political leadership and political authority so that they know they have no option but to take this political direction. So we don't support a minister of electricity. He must go. He's being paid a lot of money that we do not have. The government needs every little cent that we are wasting on Sputler, who's not going to help us with anything. He's not going to help us with anything. The appointment of the Minister of Electricity was actually bluffing. It was Ramaphosa trying to show us that he's doing something about electricity crisis when he was actually not doing anything. The biggest achievement Sputler has achieved since he arrived there was to go to all power stations. How can that be an achievement? That a minister was taking zwabs, a jiga, atwara the station, di mumaka chalena the power station, a power station, are yo, ntweso. There's nothing he was doing except to tour stations. And then that becomes the biggest ANC victory. A minister of electricity has done something that no minister has ever done in a short space of time, and that is visiting power stations. After that visit, do we have electricity? No, the situation has worsened. In the next 2 weeks, we have been warned, there's going to be darkness. We are almost at a point of grid collapse. It's a reality that South Africans must know, that we are heading to darkness and ANC politicians are continuing business as usual, as if we are not in a crisis. We are in a deep, deep, deep crisis. Cell phone networks will not work. Water, even if we have it, we won't receive it because it needs electricity. Nothing is going to function We are heading for a disaster worse than what COVID was. No one will go to work. The dead will have to be buried the same day because there will not be fridges to keep them. No generator is meant to operate 24 hours. Generator is an intervention for a short while. Even those who have generators will not be saved from the mess we are going into. We want you. We went to the streets because we knew this was coming. History will absolve us. We were called names, we were ridiculed, we were insulted. Police and the army were called on us for trying to protect us from where we are. They are just calling it stage 10 for nice word. The reality is that it's darkness. And it's not going to be darkness of 12 hours or 24 hours, it comes back. No. At times it's going to take 3 to 4 days. At times it will take a week. At times it will take a month without electricity. The whole leadership must go. We cannot fall back and do nothing. And you know what is the problem? Even ANC leaders and ANC veterans themselves are saying we've never been in a crisis we find ourselves in now. But they are so helpless. So, Brian must come back. Brian must come back. Matshela Koko must come back. So is all those Indian, colored, white engineers. We are in a crisis. They must not even, if they love this country, they must not ask for money, they must not ask for payment, they must come and rescue South Africa. Allegations were made against Brian, allegations were made against Koko. Commission was put in place, useless commission in the history of our country, where serious light was shed with the chairperson of the commission. Some information in relation to this a mining company that Brian was speaking about, which later came to be confirmed that indeed it was paying bribes internationally. Glencoe. But did our favorite judge say anything about that? They never wanted Brian because Brian knew how to pile and pile and pile coal. And after piling, he turns against these monopolies and say to them, this is my price, or you can go. They never liked him because they couldn't bully him around. When there were allegations of corruption and the Guptas, we all had a reason to say he must be investigated. Because so he had to be investigated, asked questions and all of that. Mara, hey, we are heading for a crisis. And yeah, it's a man who can come and help us. Including that former CEO who came to present. Marocha must come back. All of these guys must come back and put their heads together and say, how do we save our country? There's no time now for profit making. We call even on monopolies to just stop it because they are the ones who are pursuing these guys so that they can capture Eskom and maximize profit. They must stop. They must just stop. It's not time to politic now. We are in a crisis. And everybody, I'm not saying Brian's charges must be dropped or anyone's charges must be dropped. They have not been found guilty. I'm not saying go and fetch them in jail. They are at home. I'm not saying drop their charges or continue with whatever you are doing with them, but bring them here to come and help us. We have a problem here. We have a problem. And can't you see as a country that we have a problem? And we listen to people who have 2 passports. People who, when we are in crisis, they are just going to leave easily and go to London and leave us in crisis here after we have gone against each other. We are so scared of these people so much that if they hate one of us, all of us, then go and hate one of our own. The man has got a skill. That's why when he went back to Eskom, the workers were celebrating every corner. Because they knew that a man who can take us out of this trouble is this one. The capacity, the ability to take rational decisions that are in the best interest of our country.